Hey, I got some really big old knockers, but my bad. You know what I wanted to talk about today? Well, I talked about a couple of things. I didn't even post some videos. Love and purity. Okay? When I was on a journey to love myself, my body was going through a lot of changes. And I was in and out of the hospital. And then this is a time where Mother God was like, you know, the process that they're going through, that they're doing, is to, take your spirit. And I'm like, what the, you know, that's my favorite word, but I'm sorry. Because everything I've been through, it's like, what the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. Damn. Shit. It's something. Okay. So I'm like, really? Man, okay. I'm having to process that. I asked for some, advice on what I could do, you know, to retrieve my spirit, because that's not something anyone says. Meaning, the people at hospitals and shit like that, they're not gonna tell you that's what they're doing. And it's a series, okay? Because I was in the hospital almost every couple of days, you know, and I had a whole lot of different things going on that weren't right. Okay, I came across this Asian man online, and I can't remember his name. Uh, but if you could put in the shape of love, or the shapes of, dang, well, how can I word it? Okay, he did the rice thing where you have rice in 3 different jars. And you talk really nice to one, then you talk real shitty to another, and then it's in between. And it was like, okay, the rice you talk nice to stayed rice, vibrant, just together, ready for you to just be able to just eat it. The other two started getting black, started getting mold, started getting all kinds of things on it. And then there's another, it's the same guy, it's the same Asian guy. There's another thing where he talks about the different shapes and how vibration and sound and frequency made shapes. So if I was happy, and let's say I decided to sing happy, right? There's a way to add a vibration of happy. And then no matter what you use, whether it's a soundboard, sand, rice, rocks, it doesn't matter. It will turn into that exact shape. Okay? And then they had a process where, and they're using Egyptian practices, but they have a process where also that sound not only can produce a shape, but it produces a color. Okay? Now, immediately in my mind, I said, okay, we were the ones that invented that. That makes a lot of sense. That sounds about right, you know? And then my mind said this: why aren't we using that? That was the era and time that we were born, the golden era. So it's like any golden era practices, they will work for us. you know? So if your lineage goes back to Greece, Rome, you know, uh, Japan, wherever, those are the practices, you know, you should practice. That's why other cultures, even though they come over here, they still practice their culture, you know. But we were, quote unquote, the people without a culture. We were lost. You know, we don't know, they don't know, but they know. Okay? And so, and if you don't still know, I'm telling you, you know, you go back to the beginning. And when you want to research history, I tell people you go beyond the 600 years. Go to 1,000 years, man, you're hitting on something. 5,000, 6,000 years, if you've traveled back that far, you are damn close. It's like dots gonna start connecting like a motherfucker. And it's gonna be some indications and shit going off in your brain and everything. It's a little tingling and everything. You know, no matter which way you go, it's gonna start to resonate with you. Okay? And I watched that with the sound and I saw it change into the shapes. I saw it change into the color. But then this was so awesome to me. The same man would capture the shape in the snow. And I forgot like the type of process that allows them to do it. But I looked at it like the world is always talking to us because he was saying that even the raindrops will form a shape. The snow forms a shape. And I took it as when love is in the air, then the love shape will formulate, you know? Because uh, a time where he was in the winter and he was talking about how he was able to capture like the love shape. And it's like when they diagnosed they put the snow under the microscope, that would be like the shape it would form. But then they had a way to freeze it, you know? And it started making all the different shapes like in the world, from the lotus flower to the love frequency to it was like different ones. And I was blown away. I decided to try it. Okay. I took that love frequency, you know, meaning the shape of love. I had it at the forefront of my brain. That's my pineal gland, right? If I bring it from the back to the front. And, you know, I talked really good to myself, saying how much I love my smile or my crooked tooth or my jelly belly or my thighs, my bow legs. It doesn't matter. I was just saying different stuff. But I focused more on my organs because they were going through a time, you know. And I noticed when I talked and I rubbed and, you know, the pain would go away. So I said, I don't know how to place the shape of love on that area. But I'm going to try it. And what I did, I envisioned that shape, and I had to start from up here, and I wanted it to go through my entire body to like cleanse it or just gather what's not, love, like an extraction of fat, right? If fat was fear or hate, okay? But I wanted the love shape to go through and just grab all the bad shit, and have it exit. Now, I did that years back. Something did change. Something did break. Something did shatter in the inside. My body felt better. Then I said to myself, I'm going to try whatever I find out that could possibly work. There's no harm in trying. And how do you know if you don't try? I tried different stuff. It worked. And I would map out timing, how long it might take. And then if it was spices and stuff, I just made sure I had those spices on everything. And it would work, I'll get my little remedies or different shit together, which I gotta find, okay? Because I really, man, I was gathering so much information. It was awesome. Then, I had surgery, and somehow I came back, and majority of my memory was not there. I had things written down, and then I would read it, and I couldn't understand why I had it. And I know anything I write down is important. It's like I don't keep shit for nothing. But I couldn't make heads or tails of it. And so every time I would want to relearn, the memory would fade. It didn't stick, didn't stay like always for me. There was a disconnect there that I knew wasn't done by me. I knew it just was from something else. Um, and all I could correlate it to was the surgery. But when you don't go in for something pertaining to your memory, it's like, how can you make a memory case? It didn't matter. Well, it did. But Mother God told me that they were like trying to take my spirit. No matter what, I still needed to figure out how to get it back. I still need to figure out how to get the missing pieces back in my brain. I wanted so badly to pick up where I left off because I was on a roll. And this is one of those incidents where you're so close to divinity that you can feel it. And it was like these folks knew it, and they were just not letting it happen. Because the break in my routines that I would have for myself, it was like my bounce back wasn't the same. My drive wasn't the same. My get up and go wasn't the same. It was like all that shit was missing. Because before I be on the operating table, jump my ass up off that bitch, I'm back doing some shit. And I probably shouldn't, because they would tell me, hey, you need to rest for whatever. But I would be back out. I couldn't do it. So I had to love on myself in a way that even I was learning. I had to love on the inside. It needed it. I didn't know how to get around that. It's after 11. My niece think I don't hear her rummaging around. And she over in bed. Because she got school. But I said, let me incorporate the shapes, the sounds, um, vibrations and things. I wasn't doing a lot of singing at the time because I was in a depressive state. I had different people living with me that claimed they needed help, and now I'm realizing that was a crock of shit, you know. So I wasn't my vibrant, cheerful self anymore either. Like the way music would move me, anything that just made me was gone. And I was like, who the fuck has it? How the fuck does this disappear? And then it's like, how can you explain this shit? It's like, how? You know, it's even vital information too. And it's just like, how? You know? But I didn't care about the different shapes. I used them. And then I looked at a few documentaries on, they had scientists and shit, $1 billion, billions backing on this documentary. And it was on the lines of Caucasians and Asians trying to see if they've gotten rid of their African DNA or their black DNA, you know. Now, they have some more politically correct words, but money wasted. I'm talking about from the trips to see people, the trips to go to places, the research, it's like they've really used this money just to make sure that they're not a part of us. To find out, can't get rid of it. You can't extract that motherfucker. Can't take it out. You can't say I don't want. That ain't me. That's something powerful, you know. And I said, damn, you can fight to not be black, but you're black anyway. So you can imagine they probably is disappointed like a motherfucker. And I think this was about 2015 or 16. This documentary was out. Okay. And I saw the man disappointed because they had 2 to 4%, right? And then they go further and they start talking about how the world was going to shift and it was going to be more black people and less white, right? They had books about it from white authors, okay? And then they would say that we need to, get prepared, because black guys is coming back. And they would say things like, hey, we got to honor, real people, first people, la, la, la. But they never wanted to really come out and say, you know, distinctions of lineages or types of people, right? But I knew what they were talking about, you know. But during that time, they got on a preventative movement to not want that mainstream. Yet, okay, books that I use that help me, they raised the price on them. And then they put out books like, what did it say? Something like the Negro Bible or Curses in the Negro Bible, something like that. And I'm like saying to myself, they've broadcasted this everywhere. And nobody's changing nothing. Nothing. Everybody's still going to church, even though they know it's bogus. Everybody's operating on the same Bible. They know it's bogus, right? And it seems like between 2016 to about 2019 or 20, they thought that they did really good at the illusion of, yes, we put this out, it's in front of your face, it's, full of some truths, maybe haves and have nots, and just for some lies. But nonetheless, we put it out, we did what we were required to do. It wasn't a lot of backlash from us, so to speak, but the backlash came from us and other things. Like they put all the movements up under us, but it was really them, And I noticed how they would like try to respin the love by saying things like, yes, they don't want to say that they tortured us. We were, I'm not going to say victims of, but we went through a time. And there were other groups that distinguish it like, no, I didn't put you through that time. And maybe my ancestors, but I didn't do it. You're the same as your ancestors. Your ancestors live inside you. So you should just say, yeah, we too. It's things like that. Kind of like they want to dance around it. And so like during 2015 to let's say 2020, and I'm reading the Bible and I'm watching these different things. And I'm correlating it with some love and some shapes and some sounds and shit. And I said, damn, slavery ain't 400 years. That motherfucker 600 years. Look at these numbers and shit in the Bible. I said, God damn. Do the rest of the niggas know this shit? No matter what story you read in the Bible, no matter the era and time in the Bible, we're the same motherfuckers that keep getting enslaved. I said, do these niggas know this shit? Do they put this shit together? Fun fact is, if you go back past 1960, I think, you see the difference in the Bibles. The further you go back, the more of the truth you have. It's definitely not the other way around, you know. So I did that. And then I got to a place in Atlanta, and it was an antique shop. This man had a room of nothing but old Bibles. And I came across one. It was like the second Greek Bible that was translated into English, something like that. And I have certain chapters I go to, or I go to Acts, okay? Because it's like, it has some meat in it to me. It talks about us, and then it talks about how, you know, how they, in Acts, they're saying like, hey, God is around, you know, meaning the Spirit of God is with certain people. And they would go on missions to find other certain people that were worthy. And God would point them out, right? And they're like two different versions of Jesus, I think, in Acts. And one is like the Jesus that they portray to us, and then the other Jesus of alchemy. But they say, hey, the alchemy Jesus, they don't necessarily say alchemy, but the alchemy Jesus is not the good guy, you know. Yet he, at the end, turns into the morning star. And they say, well, morning star is more like Satan. I said, well, when it's morning outside, it's light. Good morning, right? It's a star. It's shining bright. Sound like the sun to me. The sky ain't bright by its motherfucking self. Sound like the sun to me. Unless you're looking at the duality of the word, morning, you're sad. You know? There's melancholy, or a cloud, you know. But everything I read, I was able to put myself in those places. And it felt like I was a part of those places. And I said, this can't be coincidence. Because my body would feel so emotional and attached to different things that I would hear or I would read or I would think about. And even after that surgery, like, I was upset because before I would read, but afterwards it's like if I did 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, knocked out, sleep. And I was trying to break that shit, you know, and I broke it. So it was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep trying shit. I ain't messing with no chemicals, you know what I'm saying? I ain't messing with no active spells, you know. I'm just exploring because myself wants to know more. So I didn't want to deny myself that. And I think that's what other people do. You might get nudges in different areas, but because it's a new area and it's not talked about, it's not favored, or it's just hasn't been used in its right way properly. So when it's introduced, it's not going to sound like some hot shit. Tell you get a person like me, then I tell you, yeah, some real hot shit. Check this out, you know. And what I mean by is this: I ain't changed no parts of myself. I'm still me. I got a potty mouth when I have it. That didn't change nothing for God, for me. And I smoke some green. I drink some wine. Sometimes I might do some liquor. You know, that ain't changed God for me. Like, God didn't look at me any different. God didn't, never talk no shit. He's never had a bone to pick with me. You know, he's never said anything that would hurt me or discourage me or to make me feel slighted. But the devil does a lot of that. So it's easy to recognize the devil because they want to deceive you. So deception is, if you are great, they gonna say, man, you ain't shit. You just reverse the psychology. You don't take that in like you're gonna hold it for face value. Because really it's the devil's trying to get some type of a rise out of you. It's like, oh yeah. It's like that. That's what he's doing. Like the temp and just poking the bear. The reaction, that's like a different kind of spark because then they get to suck you dry. So you gotta keep it intact. It's like, oh yeah, all right. I'm kill you with some other type of mental games, motherfucker, And their spell work is always deception. But they don't think that spell work of a good nature will work. The spell work of a good nature is, I say, okay, I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna clean this out. I'm gonna find it. And each one, they're gonna go out of here. There's no need. I said this in a writing. No need for war. There's no need for upheavals. There's no need for something extra to have to come from other places. I see where the place is at. So it's like, yeah, let's extract that on out. And this type of extraction is like the bomb because it's real. It's not like, I think so, or I had an informant, or I had this, I had that. No, this shit is real. So everything with you is real too. Because they will be playing that spot on God on game with you. And the only way it's not played on you is not only you get hip to the game, you get past the game. All it is just beating the levels of the game. And you can look at the levels like all your chakras. Just go to each one. What it's about, okay, what I got in this area, all right, is it smooth sailing? No, it's not. I got little rocky parts. Let me just focus on each little rocky part, bam, got that shit straight. And if it's a person in my line of sight that keeps me on that rocky little thing, I gotta say, hey, shut the fuck up. Cut this shit out. Or, this is another thing I do. Picture your worst. Picture the worst version of yourself. Just picture it coming out, formulating, and taking flight. Picture that shit. All right? Now that you've done that, any person that comes in front of you and you feel that, you see that image, and you turn into that monster in your fucking brain, clear sign. Get the fuck out of there, yo. Don't stay. They poking your bear. They want that Incredible Hulk to come out so they can say, see, that's what he did. That's what she did. And see, that's why I'm going to just hook him on some other shit. And that's why I'm going to get her for some other shit like that. You know my worst? I said I could be, but I don't want to be. I would say no harm meant to any of you Caucasian women, but I would picture myself as a Caucasian. Okay? Because I was trying to give myself some leeway in my brain. But I would picture myself as a Caucasian, you know. And I'm a snooty one, you know. But I got my vodka in my closet. And I got my Coke in my closet. And if these damn kids make me that fucking mad and make me want to go goddamn crazy and go in my closet, I gotta start thinking about some shit. And if they get me in my closet and I lock myself in that bitch and I just start to rocking. And I feel like I just got to have my vodka and I just got to have my Coke. That is me. Rock bottom. Because I picture like the movies. The motherfucker looking for me in the house. Motherfucker can't find me nowhere. They calling out for me. And they might hear me moan or something in the closet. And they find me just in a drunken stupor. Just, ugh. Oh, my life is just so, right? And it's a lot to come back from that, okay? So I said, all right, I don't want that to ever happen, ever. So number one, I ain't buying no fucking vodka. Number two, I ain't getting on no motherfucking Coke. And then number three, I ain't white. So, shit, that shit's not gonna happen, you know. If I feel the stress, you know, like a white woman, then I need to say, shit. Shut that shit up, bitch. You black. Come back down to reality. Solve this motherfucking problem. So you see how I just went to my extreme and then I brought myself back? You have to do that. You have to be your own pep talk of a person. Salute your insides. Even another motherfucker don't. And if you don't have the courage to salute your insides yourself, you go to the ethers, you go to God and say, God, you know, I want to use my abundance for some confidence. I don't really have that much of it today. I got about 70%. Can you just give me the other 30? He said, sure. Yeah, you know. And you'll notice because you'll just be revved all up, you know. You ain't thinking of your lower self. You up that day. Get it? So you got to do that with everything. Someone break your heart. You say, give me what I need for my abundance to unbreak my heart. They do it quickly. Break your sadness. Break all of it. Bring you back into balance. So you never get off balance. That was another request that I asked for. I was like, even if I don't know that I'm being thrown off balance, I want you guys, meaning I have angels, I have ancestors, and I have gods. Realign me. Realign me. Because I know I'm here for a long time. I know my mission is a mission. And I know it's not finished or complete yet or whatever. And I need the strength to keep going. So sometimes I would ask for strength, courage, knowledge, you know. And they would give it to me. You'll know it's working if you try it. You'll feel it. It'll be like, dang, I was just angry. Huh. I ain't even angry no more. Place that shit with some happiness, some joy, whatever. Okay? You could do that. It's used for a lot of different stuff. And then one of the other things I would do, like even with my emotions, it was something else. I had just thought of it and then it left my brain. What else I would ask for? Oh, so let's say if someone was doing something, like they set out to do a ritual and let's say it's a heart attack or something like that. And you can tell because your heart will try to stop or skip a beat or it'll try to do something different than it's normal. And I would say nice and politely, seen or unseen, whoever it is that's doing heart attack spells or that's doing anything with my heart, I want you to return that black magic back to the original sender times 10, 30,000, whatever. Stuff be gone. Gone. Didn't matter. Kidneys, lungs, head, hoo-ha. Didn't matter. I tell them to take it away. Give it back. It's not mine. I'm not doing shit to fucking hurt myself, so I know it's not mine. If you ain't doing shit to hurt your fucking self, it's not yours either. So you say, hey, get rid of this shit. This come from somebody else fucking with me, doing something, trying to pull something from me, or trying to hurt me on purpose, whatever the case it is, they're not going to do it. And the way you're not going to do it, I'm just going to throw that shit right back over there with you. That's your problems. In order for you to produce it as a spell, you have to produce it yourself. So it's like, why would you go put yourself through depression to get somebody else depression? But that's how these people do shit. Because they want it in its authenticity versus you being in your authenticity. Think about it. I've been on here long enough, but I'm going to go. And I'm going to get better at this thing. I am. All right. But I want everyone to have a wonderful night. Okay? Wonderful day, afternoon, whatever. Toodles.